Nintendo. The way you're handling revealing information about the Nintendo NX is a very, very bad sign. Now, I just want to start this video with the fact that I'm actually not disappointed in the slightest with the March 2017 release. I'm not even disappointed about Zelda U being delayed to March 2017 for a dual release. That's not an issue at all. I mean, I was already Team 2017 for the NX anyways. I was just optimistically hoping, hey, maybe we could get it pushed back a few months, but this is okay. And as for Zelda U, again, it's only like 3 or 4 months later than we would expect it to be released, so it's not really that bad. What I want to rant on today is the fact that Nintendo is definitely going to lose E3. Now, you can hear that I'm pretty groggy sounding. It's because I just woke up, but I'm also, pretty upset. Figured this would be fitting. Nintendo, at their investors meeting last night, pretty much did exactly what I said that they would do. Like, they weren't going to release any actual information on the system. They were just going to possibly give us a name, which they didn't, and maybe a trickle of info, maybe tell us when it's going to be revealed. They didn't tell us the reveal date, but they did tell us March 2017, so that's cool. And that also, by the way, says that all those rumor people that said, oh, 2016 release, yeah, that pretty much proves all of them wrong. And I know you guys can give me the, oh, but it was expected to be 2016, but it was pushed back, it was another rumor. But no, 2017, there's been too many signs for that. It's normal. But Nintendo also confirmed at this investors meeting that the only playable game at E3 is going to be Zelda U. That's going to be their main focus. No other games were announced for E3, which makes sense. If they're going to announce more games at E3, they want to save them for E3 to have more of an impact, unlike last year where they told us about them before E3. But they're not going to show the NX at E3, and they're not going to really give any details at all. And that's a problem. We know Sony's releasing the PlayStation Neo, so they're going to show off their brand new hardware and probably a shitload of games at E3. And Microsoft, knowing how they are, they're also going to show off a shitload of games and possibly new hardware themselves. So Nintendo's going to be sitting there with pretty much one game to show, and maybe a few more, while the competition is showing off new hardware and craploads of new games and concepts. And by the time the NX is announced, no one's going to give a shit. It's not going to be at the proper showing where they should have showed it at. I mean, if it's being released in March 2017, that means they're not still designing the system. That wouldn't make any sense at all. If they were still designing the system, it would be more than a year out. What I think is going to happen is Nintendo's probably going to end up actually giving us at least some more info about the system. Maybe they're not showing it. I'm fine with them not showing the hardware of it at E3, but they need to give us more info, such as an actual release date, maybe the actual name, a few other things. But based on what we're seeing here, Nintendo's not going to actually be talking about it at all at E3. And that's a huge problem. If they have a system coming out so soon and they're not going to show it off when they should be showing it off in front of when the whole world's looking at E3, they're losing out on a bunch of sales, and Nintendo is going to have some serious trouble. This is worrying for me. I have a strange feeling that they haven't learned from that many mistakes from the Wii U, and I hope that they at least did learn from some mistakes, and this is just, a fluke, I should say. But it's hard to keep your hopes up with a company that's been dashing those hopes for years now and giving us just non-stop game droughts. If they don't show off any games at E3 for Wii U, the Wii U is literally going to get just 1 or 2 games released, and both of them are ones that no one really gives a shit about. That's really bad if Nintendo's about to spend another year with a huge game drought with basically nothing, with just 3DS trickles and Wii U, basically nothing. So we need to see more games at E3, because Zelda U isn't going to even be released this year. It's going to be released next year. Now, me personally, I'm not going to have a game drop myself, because I have a gaming PC and a PS4, and there's a lot of games coming out for both platforms that I'm looking forward to playing. So it's not a huge deal that Nintendo's not releasing a lot of games, for me. But that's definitely no excuse. Nintendo needs to have more games. That was their biggest problem with the Wii U, was the fact that they didn't have enough games on the system. And if they're just going to be finishing it off like this and not talking about any more games, then what's going to happen? I mean, Zelda being a launch title for the NX is kind of a good sign. It shows that they're coming out of the gate with something strong, but it wasn't a title that was like built for the system. It was announced years ago, and then it, delayed a bunch of times. And I have a feeling it's only being delayed out of the holidays, so it could be released on both systems. On the NX to push hardware, and on the Wii U to satisfy anybody who doesn't want to buy new hardware immediately. Yeah, tell me what you guys think in the comments. Hopefully, we'll get some good news soon. I was actually planning on watching Nintendo's E3 conference with my friend and posting it on this channel, but I might not end up doing that this year. I mean, depending on what we hear, if we get more stuff possibly being announced, I might do that, but I don't know. It just doesn't seem worth it at this point.